Transition Awareness Breathing. Feeling grounded for both children and parents is essential for healthy living and learning. Join Eartha Powell on this series for tips and tools for creating a harmonious environment for learning. Transition Awareness Breathing will help you and your child find an individualized path to tackle change, promote lifelong learning, and discover new approaches to calmness.
Welcome back. Welcome to Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast. This is Eartha. And for this session, we're going to continue our mindful look at motivation and learning. This is our final theory that we are going to be looking at regarding the mindful look of motivation and learning. Before I get started, I would like to thank Web Talk Radio for allowing me to have a platform to bring Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast to you. And I'd like to thank my producers, Mary Lou and Sam, for making Transition Awareness Breathing Podcast available to you wherever you go. Now, let's continue. I would like to set the stage before I introduce the next theory, because I think it would be meaningful and helpful to understand the different elements of our next theory. Imagine you are taking on a new position in a company that you've always wanted to participate and be a part of. You have practiced and you have went to school and you have this is like your dream job. Well, come to find out that not only are you accepted in that job, they have also nominated you to be one of the top leaders in a very important department. You were totally unexpected. The company needed someone that had your experience. As they read your resume and they contacted your references, and they felt that you were the one that was most qualified than anyone even in their company, because this is a new position that they're starting up. This makes you a little nervous, and this was totally unexpected. You are open for the challenge and you accept the position. The first day you meet the people in your department, they are not looking at you very friendly. Arms are crossed, eyes are on the floor, glaring at the lights. They're polite and friendly, but you can feel there is a coldness in the air. You take a deep breath in your nose and you blow it out. You can feel the heartbeat even through your jacket. Your hands are sweaty and you are telling yourself, I can do this. This is my team. They have to get to know me. We can do this. What is your next step? This kind of situation can be a little bit intimidating. It's a brand new situation. It's a brand new department. There's brand new team members. And the whole department is on edge. And so here we have a situation where the new leader has to pull together a team. And it doesn't have to be in a workspace. It could be at school. And as a student, you may be in charge of working in a group because you're preparing a big project or a big presentation, and you were chosen to be the leader in that group. How do you start? You feel yourself getting anxious. You feel yourself maybe a little bit overwhelmed. And you remember the basic elements of mindfulness. Realize that as a leader, all eyes are on you. That's part of being a leader. And so here is an opportunity to be an example of how you want your team to perform. Because as your members of your team or the members of your group looks at you, they're going to make some perceptions, some judgments. And you, coming from a mindfulness perspective, have an awesome position to practice exactly what you preach because you are a mindful leader. In this scenario, I would invite you to consider the next motivational style of leadership, which is called Transformational Leadership. The concept of transformational leadership was initially introduced by James McGregor Burns back in his book in 1978 called Leadership. And then in 1985, Bernard M. Bass further developed the concepts of transformational leadership in his book called Leadership and Performance Beyond Expectation. And what are these expectations? Well, just to summarize, the transformational leader is a high-performing leadership style. This style of leadership creates inspiring visions and motivate their team members to accept that high-performance vision and just buy into that vision. And throughout the process, they're also building trust and relationships with their people, with their team, and they're managing and delivering their vision. So what does this leader do? I mean, what makes them have the magic to transform what their vision is in their mind and convince people that this vision is something that they also need to buy into? There is a high level of integrity and honesty that is expected in this transformational leadership style. Clear goals and clear communication. The expectation of performance and meeting the vision is very high. There's a lot of encouragement and feedback in this leadership style, as well as an expectation to provide support and recognition for the team and the team members. The leader really understands and empathizes and stimulates the emotion of people, that they use this strategy of maybe compassion and empathy to help their team members know that each person on that team is vital for the success of the vision. I drew a picture as I was reading about this style of leadership, and it looked like a wheel. The center of the wheel is the vision. So I drew a wheel, like a buggy wheel or a circle, and then I wrote vision. And then there's spikes. Like a bicycle wheel, you have a center, and then you have the metal spikes around that center. And then you have the tire. In my image, in my mind, I'm envisioning that each spike that goes into that center, into the vision, are the team members. And the wheel, the rubber wheel, is the leader. The leader has to touch each spike through feedback, through support. They are aware of the environment that their team members have to perform. And so this is the kind of leader that they want their team members to have what they need to succeed. In a school environment, in a school group, this is the leader of the group that can communicate with each member of the group. And for both a leader and a group leader, they're able to identify the different styles of motivation for each member. Some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, and some people are in the middle. And there's no right and there's no wrong. It's just that this leader knows how to use the strengths and the talents of each member in the group, and each member of that group feels that they are valued. And so they all receive the recognition as being a vital part in the process of getting that vision into a reality. I find it fascinating that this style of leadership involves a lot of different processes. And I think comparing this one to the previous one that we have talked about, this style of leadership adjusts to many variables and changes, and it relies on other processes or other theories to help the group achieve the vision. For example, the transformational leader really depends on clear communication, and that is written throughout this article. And one of the models that this style uses is called the Durham and Pierce's leadership process model. In this model, the leader is responsible. They accept the responsibility as the leader, and so they make it their priority to be aware of the environment that their team is operating in, so that they can help that team get the resources or the environment that they need to perform at their best. This is again another highly high-performing team, a high-performing leadership process. Another model that this leadership style mentioned was the Joe Harry Window model, and it is a communication theory. So this transformational leadership style involves many different types of theories regarding communication, building communication, awareness. It speaks about walking around, management by walking around, and having clear and specific goals. And I think from a mindfulness perspective, using our skills of awareness and being that example of the awareness and the calmness, and to be able to teach as a role model, bringing people together as teams. And so that's why, so if we go back to the scenario that we began with, that situation, what would be the first step? In my humble approach, I would say the first step is to use what you know. According to this theory, one would maybe get to know their team members, have an introduction. And also, what is strong about this style of leadership is to be open to feedback and to share information so that your team can see you as a human being and not just as here comes the boss. So there's a lot of openness, a lot of revealing, a lot of truth, a lot of high integrity to this leadership style, as well as an expectation that each member of that team is a high performer. And so it's not taking the focus of, you have a leader that sits in the office and they expect high performing team members. Now this style involves the leader coming out of the office and talking with their team members and really finding out how things are going and what is needed, and to provide encouragement and positivity in that work environment. And so I think this style kind of brings it all together, all the mindfulness tools that we have talked about, and all the leadership styles that we have talked about in these past few series. So I think this is a great leadership style to end our series on a mindful look at motivation and learning. And I hope you have enjoyed this series. I look forward to talking to you next time when we start a new series and come back and find out what that will be. Thank you for joining me, and have a great day.
Be sure and pick up a copy of Eartha's new book, Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's not just an ordinary coloring book. It features 23 illustrations to stimulate thought, relaxation, and creativity for anyone between the ages of 4 and 94. Increase your positive self-talk energy. Unlock new creative paths. Transform your time once or twice a week to create beautiful art while strengthening confidence, building positive self-talk, and sensitize self-awareness. Tab Mindfulness, Awareness and Coloring Activities in a Pandemic World. It's available now at Amazon.com.